What's up, y'all? Welcome to Check the IV. I am Jewel IV, and today we have our guest today, Jewel IV. Hey, sorry, that was such a terrible impression. What's up? I'm Andre Haskett. I am head of the S&C or the Aspect Social and Culture, and this is Jewel, the amazing Jewel.
Hi,
Jewel,
welcome to my show.
what's up? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm loving this. This is great. This is great. I love not being. I love being on the opposite side. This is great.
Oh, yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Jewel's the guest today, and I'm the host. So, I have a lot of questions for Jewel, and, we're gonna get to the bottom of, his love life, his deepest, darkest childhood
Oh
secrets,
my gosh.
all the good stuff that shouldn't be shared. But here we go. Alright, Jewel alright, let me take off the host voice. Alright, anyway, Joel, I feel like I've kn I've known about you and then got to know you slowly, like, over time through SCAD and through working with you now on the Aspect S&C, and so, I don't know, I feel like in meeting you, already you were just very impressive to me as a whole, and just, like, as a person, like, everyone was drawn to you. Like, literally, when I tell you magnet personality, and I'm not trying to
Oh
blow
my
your head up,
gosh.
so don't get the wrong well, actually, I am. But, like, in the same way of, like, already you're so talented, and you're so dedicated and driven and so ambitious, and so I think for me coming into SCAD, seeing you, I was like, "Oh, that's someone I need to know." Um, like, clearly, aside from obviously SCAD brings in all these stars, but I'm like, "We have stars here," and you were one of them,
Mm.
along with so many other talented individuals, and so I think I will say, 1, it's an honor to have met you, Jewel, and to be working
Aw.
with you now, and I'm really excited to see you grow, but I guess my first question for you, I guess, is gonna be, I don't know, what brought you to where you are today in terms of why the arts? Why SCAD? Like, what was that thing, for you that really brought you to art, I'll say?
Well, before I answer the question, thank you so much, Andre, and that was so nice. That was so nice. I've known Andre for a very long time. Well, not a very long time, but through my through my undergrad and
Yeah,
into my graduate, so a good 4 or 5 years.
for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute, and I've always wanted to work with you. Um, like I think I told you that when I came on to the when you were when Sean assigned you as my producer, I was like, "Oh my god, Andre Haskett's my producer. This is cool."
Oh
Like,
god.
so, which was cool because I wanted to work with you in an acting realm. Like, I wanted to direct you, and like I
Yeah,
wanted to workshop with you, like I've done with like Amari and Shakeem and all the others.
for sure, yeah.
So I've always wanted to do that, and just because you're so talented, and
Don't you blow
you
my head up now.
no, you I mean,
Hey,
you're very pivotal at our alma mater, and and what you've done there. You broke barriers, at least, seeing that from on an African American side, a black
oh,
side.
wow, we're going deep,
So
alright.
it
Yeah,
was good to see. And you're right, there
yeah,
was a lot of stars where I mean, SCAD produces stars every day. So
that part.
and we are one of them. So it's like it's good to be able to work with you finally, and not even in the state fully of how I want to, but that's coming soon.
I feel that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But to answer your question, why the arts and why SCAD and why film? I wanted to be you, actually. I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
I did the modeling thing, I did the acting thing, um, did the auditions, like commercials, and one of my first commercials was at Space Center Houston at NASA,
Yeah,
and which was really
sick.
cool. Paid me $100 to act interested and go around and be a kid. It was cool. I did
Yeah.
Nike auditions. and like sports auditions, and it was really cool. Um,
That's
but
sick. Yeah.
I I think it was after one Nike audition, and I realized that I kind of was like, I don't really want to do this for real. Like I don't like, I think just because I messed up and had a really bad audition, and I just said like, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. Like my mom kind of got
Yeah.
real with me. And my mom works in entertainment. So that could also be a very much factor just because I come from this entertainment background. A lot of my godparents work in the media sphere, like like sphere of radio and music and television. So I've always wanted to kind of do something, but I didn't really want to be, my mom was like, don't do radio. And I was like, okay, so that's
Yeah.
do that. And I didn't really care to do journalism because I didn't, now I'm older and I like the news, but I didn't like the news as a kid. Just because it was all bad. Like I was like,
Yeah.
and it's still bad. It's actually worse. But like,
Agreed.
I just didn't feel like I wanted to be a journalist. I felt like I wanted to tell actual stories, and I was a writer. Wrote poetry and short stories as a kid. So
Yeah.
I started to see that my path was like, okay, well, and also I don't think I was a really good actor. Like I never made any like major plays at school. Like I was really that like, it's giving C list, D list, real
D-list is
seriously.
crazy.
So I was just like, nah, I'm not doing it. So I accidentally was placed into a new structured screenwriting class in high school, my
Oh,
final
wow.
year of high school, and
Yeah.
which was going to complete my theater for credit. So I did it, and I started to really learn and have a passion for screenwriting. I wrote my first screenplay in that class, Bash, and which was my first
Wow.
movie. And so like it was a pivotal thing for me, and it happened in the course of like 2 to 3 years. So like coming into high school, and my high school was very progressive on like, what are you gonna do in life? Like what are you gonna, like what path are you gonna do? And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be in entertainment. I just don't know what sphere. But I started to see that I didn't have to be in front of the camera to get a story across, or to tell my story or to tell a story. And I found my passion being more behind the camera. And that's how it started.
Wow. Okay. Dang. So really screenplays were I guess I'll ask this. So for a lot of people, or for many people, I'll say, when it comes to writing, that's how they, express themselves or uh, really tell stories about how they feel and their childhood or experiences they went through. Was that kind of your outlet? Was the writing, or was that just something you kind of like stumbled upon? You're like, oh, cool, I can do this. This is gonna be easy. Or
Mm.
how do you feel?
Um, I was a big writer. I was a big reader. And I think
Yeah,
if you read a lot, you write a lot. Or you have
that
that
was a bar.
ability. So
Yeah,
and it is like I read a lot of fantasy stories and a lot of like supernatural growing up. So I had a lot of
yeah,
stories that I had imagined and I wanted to tell, but um when I was growing up and I was coming into high school, I started to realize, well, I was very much influenced in the church. So I worked at the church. I was a worship
same,
leader at the church. I actually
same. Oh
helped
god.
choreograph and I ran children's worship. So
Wow.
and that was an outlet. I was a dancer. Like I also could dance, and I haven't danced in years, but I
Yeah.
think that's going to come back into play very soon with some things that are coming up.
A
But
word?
we'll talk about it later.
You wanna bust an 8 count real quick?
Not right now. No, no,
Really
no, no,
quick?
no, no. Not
Every
right now.
beat.
Not right now. Not right now. Not
Sorry,
right
go
now.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
But in the sense of I was just very influenced, and my friend base was based in the church. So, and
Yeah,
have a good friend, Trevor Boyd, who what his dad, Bob Boyd, was he's a photographer. He worked in the media department at the church, and I just thought it was so cool. Like I was like, so he kind of helped me influence me to kind of like go into more of that way. And I was just really like the story base, and a lot of my stories that I have written and that are archived, or not archived, but they're vaulted right now, are based in Christianity, just because they
Wow.
came from earlier things, and what I was journaling and what I was
Yeah.
learning and what I was piecing together in worship. And a lot of my worship, I still have I'm looking at them right now, notebooks and notebooks of notes from church and worship on Wednesday nights. Just
That's real.
that I can incorporate and build stories from. Like I'm working, shout out to Chastity. She's
Cofield?
Yeah, she just
Yeah, there
she
we
just
go.
came to visit me recently, and
Yeah.
she just poured into me so heavily recently about, just being a creative and balancing Christianity and what's and how to do that. And like
Oh, wow.
and just showing
Yeah.
how, and she's a prime example of that, like,
Yeah.
balancing that and also being like a real estate mogul. Like she's kind of like or aspiring or up and coming real estate mogul. So she's like
That part.
really like poured into me while she was here visiting and doing some work. And she really inspired me to kind of get back, because right now I haven't been writing. I've been on a hiatus from writing or creating anything visually besides, of course, check the IV. But
Yeah.
um I told her an idea that came to mind, and she very much told me to pursue it. And it does stem from Christianity, or the roots of kind of like my footing in where I actually started to write from, and like where I started to come from, in the sense of thinking about the supernatural in a different way, biblically. Because there are we do live in a separate realm from different, supernatural
We gotta talk.
spirits. That's the
We
thing.
gotta talk.
But
I got a story too.
I
We
don't
gotta
know,
talk. We
like
gotta talk.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But
Alright, alright.
I just went into that, and she just really, so shout out to Chastity on that. But it's come into play like that. That's kind of just how like writing has just been very much crucial to me. Like it's been the stemming for everything. Like everything I write, I produce. And then everything
Yeah.
I produce, I end up directing. So
That's sick.
yeah.
That's sick though, yeah.
So it
Wow.
kind of inspired a lot from my background. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, well, no, that's a beautiful thing. I think, and one, having people around you like that who can uplift you is a beautiful thing. So Chastity, I hope you're doing okay. I haven't checked in with her in a while. Um, but yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. And I think, off of that, I mean, just to try to go into everything you've created. I mean, I don't know all the things I'm allowed to say, but we have vision, we have exposure, we have, oh, you have production companies, a music label. You like literally you have so many things. I don't think people realize how much you create. And I think that's why I love talking to you, because obviously we create different things, but that's how my brain works as well. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if I'm creating a show, well, it's like, all right, cool. I wrote it. Well, I need a production company. So now I'm gonna go take that. I'm gonna film with that. But wait, I need music. Yeah, clearly there's a music label that's needed. It's like, okay, the music can be promoted in the film. And then it's like, oh wait, but now on top of that, it's like, how are we gonna market it? Oh, now I have a marketing agency. It's like, oh, great, cool. Now how am I gonna get my music? Like, I love the fact that like I when I talk to you, I'm like, "Yes." Like, to everyone else, they think I'm doing too much, but when I talk to you, I see the same thing in you, and it's just like the drive that you have is so fun to, like, learn about or just, like, listen to. So, like, 1, you're inspiring, and then
Oh,
2, I guess with all of that you're doing, especially with having people around you, how is being that kind of magnet or that source or having people like that around you to uplift you, how has that allowed you to create these companies? Because obviously, you can't do anything alone, which is one thing I'm just now learning and now putting together a team. So it's like, how is how has that allowed you to build so many different communities, so many different companies, and how do you feel like community has influenced you as kind of a whole across who you are today? Like, yeah,
well, I get, well, first, I get that prompt or that thing a lot.
yeah,
You're doing too much. Am I doing too much or are you not doing enough? It's kind of like
Ooh,
I don't say that in
ah,
a cocky way, but it's like
yeah,
when you put your mind to something and you put your efforts and your will and your ambition behind it, what's going to stop you? Like what is going to stop you from doing that? It's like, yes, funds and money come into play, but there are other ways to create. And I've been learning that lately, other ways to get my voice out there or get the things that I want to talk about or get the things that I want done out.
yeah,
And they've come in different ways and different mediums and formats. But I never listen to when people say you're doing too much, unless it's like, oh, I'm personally doing too much. But how
yeah,
has
yeah,
that, circles in I've learned at an early age because, well, I'm an only child, one, but I've learned at an only age that it takes a community, it takes people to do big things, or
yeah,
and my whole motto at Vision is make things happen. And I cannot make the things that we do or we've done happen without a team. Every
yeah,
team that I build is handpicked. It's handpicked to people that want to support and not just me. Some people do it because it's the person, do it because of the vision, do it because of you believe in what's going on or you want to support, yes, me, but you see a story and that's what we're pitching and that's what we're putting our all into it. So, on all my sets, I make everyone read the script. Yeah, I want y'all to read the
that part.
script. I don't care if you don't have anything to do with talent or anything to do with it. I want you to understand what you're making. Like,
Yeah,
and what you're putting into. Why does it helps your job, you know? If the gaffers read the script, they can probably fill out the mood, right? They can, yeah, but
yeah,
even though they get their direction from the director of photography, it's communal. And all of my teams are just, I would say, like, they're a part and extension of Vision. It's not like I say Vision as in the entire company, like whether it's casting, writers, sound, or IVTV, or just the main Vision itself. You know, they are all extensions. They've all incorporated something to it. They put
yeah,
their time, their money, their effort into something. And Vision was created for communal creativity. It wasn't made for me to prop myself up higher. It's utilized and still utilized today for creatives to come and create outside of the bounds of their normal life. And that's what we prime ourselves on. Like,
yeah, yeah,
even till this day, we still have meetings about projects that we develop. We can still pitch outside the sphere, but we can also wait and develop and run ourselves. But it's different now. But that's kind of how we've done it. And I will always continue to do that. You can't do anything without a team and a support system behind you.
yeah,
Whether that's financially, monetizably, but it's really about the key people that are there for you, like up late at night, churning out an edit for you, or coloring
fact.
something for you, or doing a shot list and creating a shot list with you. you know these things are communal. You're putting something together, even though I'm bringing the idea or the concept, but you're bringing the elements of skill, you're bringing in your talent and your creativity. So you can never make something creativity or creative, you know in like the scope of what we do, in the scope of what we do, by yourself.
Yeah. Wow. I'm about to I need to get a notepad. I'll be honest with you. Like just listening to all this is like you're just dropping gems. And I know at the end of every episode you ask somebody like, "Hey, what's the what drop a gem?" But like you're just dropping continuous bars throughout all of this. All right. But anyway, I I love that. And no, that's honestly so impactful. I think wow, like having the presence or the energy to give other people purpose to me is such a powerful thing. I think it goes beyond leadership,
Mm,
honestly, because there are a lot of people who are in leadership positions but don't have that ability. Most people move out of fear, but you inspire people to move, and I think and that's such a that's a vast difference between the two
Mm.
kinds of leadership. And I can tell in the way that you carry yourself and the way that you talk to people. Um, and so that'll only take you farther, and I don't say this to Glaze or anything. I'm as seriously, I've never said Glaze before, but I don't say any of this to I can't think of the word, but like this is all just really genuine in terms of, what you're doing right now, you know, at times might seem frustrating or might seem small, but it's everything for a lot of people. Like I mean, just to think about it, like you literally give people opportunity. Like you're the bringer of opportunity for people who have wanted to do something for so long, but they don't have it on their resume. No one will give them a chance. Here comes
Yeah.
exposure. Here comes vision. Here comes your magazine. Here comes the opportunity of a lifetime to create something that and here's another thing. What I love about what you do is just like the crazy part to me is like a lot of people are always like, "Oh, I have to get paid for every single thing." But there are moments where it's just like when you find that person to collaborate with and you sit there and you say, "Yo, we're going to create something sick. I don't even care about the money. I'm here to build something that yes, at some point will get us money, but right
Oh my
now,
gosh,
we're going to
yes.
create a dope project, hands
Yes.
down, no money needed because you know what? We just love what we do." And I don't think people understand that anymore.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah,
I
but
I and, a lot of people eat me up about a lot of people eat me up
yeah,
about this. A
yeah,
lot of people eat me up about this. They say, "Why do you do pro bono work? Like, why do you do work for free? Like,
yeah,
what when you've done this, you should be charging and all this stuff." And it's like, yes, we are now. I am now.
yeah.
Let's just
That
answer
part,
that. I
that
am
part.
now.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I've come to the state where I cannot work for free anymore.
yeah.
Which is a blessing. I
And a
actually
flex. Yeah,
can
yeah,
I work freelance and now I do get paid for my efforts. But
yeah,
when we in the sense of mind of scope of how much vast knowledge that we think that we have compared to what we don't have in the real
yeah.
professional industry is so
It's
vast.
so much.
So we think we can take these, like when I remember when I first directed a project, I was nervous as hell because
Yeah,
I was like, I have to lift up to the stakes of a director. No,
yeah,
you do it
yeah,
in the fashion of how you can do it in the best way that you can do it. You don't live up to the expectations of what is. Yes, you have qualifications, you have duties, you have expectations,
for sure.
but you
Yeah,
can't live up to. I'm not going to say I'm going to be like the next Steve Jobs. That's first of all, that's out of my bracket of the industry. And two, that's not
what
me.
a hill. Yeah, yeah,
I don't compare, it's like people inspire me to do those things, but I can't
yeah,
expect myself to do that. So you have to give yourself one grace and you have to let yourself be humble and let yourself experience things and go through the motions of not being paid for work. And that's artists are not paid for work. A lot of artists are not paid for what they do. So, or paid
yeah.
the way they're supposed to be paid for what they do. If I were to tell you my rate right now in the sense of based off of my experience, on top of my education, on top of these things, yes,
Whew.
my rate would be high. But
Oh, of course.
but like you made a great and fantastic top line point in creativity and artistry, it's about the vision. It's about the creativity. It's about execution. It's about getting it done. And
Yeah,
I never wanted to be a person to hinder my skill set or be selfish with my skill set to others. A good friend of mine told me that he was like, when I have knowledge to share and I have skills to give, why I don't understand when people don't do and give them to them for free because
that part.
what
Yeah.
what hindrance or what
What
hurt does
good
it
does it do?
do to
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Why what you're helping someone else be great, so giving people opportunities, but also just giving them the experience to try and fail and see if they like it or not. You know, like if you like I start everybody off with as a PA. Everybody come off PA. Why?
Yeah.
Because there's a PA in every department, and usually in our crew interviews, we just say, "Hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to be you want to be in production? Do you like what I do? Do you want to?" And these are like freshmen, sophomores. You know, like this is going back to SCAT. Like this is how
Yeah.
we would do it, and you can't charge students. So yeah, the work was easy, but now in the sense, the work that I do now is more about, do I believe and do I see benefit in what you're doing? Like it's more of like I've tailored, the sense of like, do I want to put my name on this or not? Do I see
Yeah.
myself, do I see this thing being, thriving with me behind it? Do I see myself putting like something behind it that makes it thrive? Like, am I going to bring something to the table to this? And if I don't bring something to the table, I won't pick up the project. I won't pursue the project. But if I do see something that I'm very passionate about, or I'm seeing myself that I can expand on, or it can grow, like Vision in Starring Entertainment, which is Sarah McVicker's
Yeah.
company. We co-executive produced our first music video in 2023. Kaylin's music video to "So Good," which is
Oh my
the lead
god.
track to
I love that. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
our album. So we also paid for the song. We have licensed the song. So we have partial ownership to the song. We have, you know, or partial licensing to use the song, at least in usage for the music, for the film, and for any marketing purpose, publicity purposes and whatnot. But we also put it on the album. Like it
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was dope. And then also as a thank you, because you repay an art, that's also a thing that artists should do, is also reciprocate that. Not everything has to have a price tag on it. Yes, we're supporting, but just make dope shit. She wrote a song for us. I was like, okay, the song is hot. The song is literally the lead thing. It needs a
Yeah.
music video. We came together and produced a music video for her. And
Sick. Yeah.
and now she has a music video. And it was good for us. I got the skill set. That was my first music video directing and
Yeah.
executive producing. I produced music videos before, but um, you know, taking that initiative role in directing a music video like that was pivotal for me. So like, yeah, it was a couple grand, out of my pocket, but like it was experience, and now I feel more
Yeah.
confident now to do more music videos and executing them much more, efficient than I did that. So
Fact.
it's a learning experience. I think taking free work and doing free work creatively is only going to make you better, and execute you
Yeah.
and get you more opportunities. And then to the point where you've gotten all this skill set, you can do it all, then you can put a price tag on it.
Hey, it's Andre, head of talent at The Aspect and The Aspect Social and Culture. Enjoying the episode? We've got a variety of unique shows and perspectives ready for you to explore. So be sure to subscribe. Continue your episode, and thanks for watching.
Charge it and rate it.
That part. That part, and I think, what's it called? I'm not gonna get into it too much, but like off of everything you said, like it's also the thing of like when you have the opportunity to do free work, no matter what level it's at for anybody, no matter what stage of their life they're at, don't half-ass it. Like
Oh
literally,
no, never have.
like at all. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I won't get into it too much, but for me on my side, having my company that I'll be talking about more further in the future,
Mm-hmm.
out in Atlanta. There's a client that a potential client who I could be working with, and they own like 8 restaurants. I didn't know that. Dude just asked me to film something completely different. I went and filmed it, and for me, it was one of those things where, okay, I obviously have a lot to learn. Not only did I start in acting, but now it's like okay, now we're over here doing editing,
Right.
videography, content, and all this stuff. So like the whole thing is like he asked me to do it. Do I have to do it for free? No, I could have just kept filming for the client I was actually there to film for, But like the whole point is just like he asked me to do something. Whether he works with me or not is not the point. Now it's like if I do this and execute it right,
Mhm.
now we have extra portfolio work.
Right.
We have I'm giving people a reason to believe in me, like, and so I think that's what's so powerful with everything that you do and allowing people to
Show
come
your
on.
work. Show your
Yeah.
work. Show
Flex
your
it.
work. Show your work.
Yeah.
If it's good enough to put a price tag on it, show it and do it.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
And like and never half-ass it. Every project
Yeah.
that I do pro bono, I give the same amount of effort that I do on my
You
personal
have to.
projects. Because if you're telling me to come and produce something for you, you know, I have to like it enough as if it was my own.
And that is something where it's just like that right there, what you just said is something I don't think people understand either, is that you can't show up expecting everyone to care about your thing, but whoever you add to your team, they need to find a reason to care about that thing.
Mhm.
Because now it's like if you're gonna put your name on a project, oh, that's yours now. So if it goes bad, it's not just the director, it's not bad on the director. It's like, oh yeah, no, I worked with that person over there.
Mhm.
And it's like you can't run from that. So like
The director
you
takes
have
the
to.
heat,
Oh
the
yeah,
director
yeah,
takes
yeah.
the heat. But, it like we said, it's communal. You have to
Facts.
care and have some type of attachment to it. I ain't saying you
Yeah,
gotta like love it like it's the last movie on the earth or the last project on the earth. No, I'm just saying
yeah,
like find something that you can connect with on the project. Whether it's a character, a line, something. You know,
100%.
get somewhere, a scene, something, because I just,
100%.
I hate, and hate is strong. I dislike when I'm working on set and people don't like the project that they're on. Like,
I'm like, why are you here then? And why there's so many like, what do you and then
I
they're gonna
get it.
talk
It's
bad about it.
that life
Yeah,
is not for everyone, but
yeah,
also it's just like, okay, by the time you get into like when you're in set life, it's kind of like, okay, this is the norm.
yeah,
You become adjusted to it, so it's not anything new. But like understanding that you don't like the project, or like but you signed on to the project, so you have the chance to read script. But some people do it for different reasons. Some people do it for the check.
very true.
you know some people definitely do it for the check, or do it for the benefit, or to say that they've been on something, or they do it for whatever
Yeah,
reason they do it for. But like I just never I who did I say? I think I told someone recently. I said I never put my name on something that uh that I don't like. Like or that I
yeah,
won't like, and that's a project, that's a whatever, like never put your name on something that you don't fully believe in, or that you fully
100%.
don't think is going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Producer number 101, like for real, because like
Yeah,
you're gonna be attached to that project for a very long time, and you don't. And I've had my friends, sign on to projects. They hear the first pitch, it's like, oh, this sounds all great, this sounds all yummy, and then they get in there and they really see who they're working with, and
yeah,
then they're like, "Nah, I don't want to do this." And they have to step away. And it's like, yeah, kind of give yourself a filter, give yourself criteria of like materials,
facts.
if you need a treatment or a script or something before you make a decision, before you attach yourself to a project. Because I've walked away from projects, but it's rare that I will walk away from a project because I just won't sign on to it from the get
That part.
go.
That part. Yeah, yeah.
But I've
No, I
learned that
like
over years. That took like 5 years of learning, after going on bad projects and understanding that not everybody works the same way as you do,
yeah.
Jewel.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, on that note, in terms of projects, what is coming up for you that you are willing to share? What should we know about and keep an eye out for in terms of Jewel or Vision or anything like that? What's coming up for you?
Ooh, Andre, that's a loaded question. Um,
There's a lot.
that's a loaded
There's a lot.
question. Well, I just started consulting. that's another thing. I'm a freelancer, so I consult with
That
different
part.
companies creatively. So I am a brand operations director at DBM, Designs by Modish, which is totally not film oriented at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It is an eight. Okay, listen, this is a little scary for my creatives because when I say this, y'all gonna be like, "Ooh, ooh,
Yeah,
y'all,
yeah, go ahead.
y'all, boots, I'm shaking the table with this." So I work so I consult and I'm the director of brand operations at a AI architectural design firm.
How dare you?
And
How dare you, Jewel? I'm playing, go ahead. Go ahead.
we just
Maybe.
launched our first 3D transformative digest, which is a magazine called DBM, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's now out into the world, and like we can kind of I have a promo code, and like y'all can like definitely subscribe. So it's you get all
You
12
brought
issues
it?
for 9.99. So
Promo? Yeah.
it's really cute. It's I have like I've known Ben for a little bit and he's the CEO. So I've kind of just came in to kind of start helping with the little things. And then I kind of started getting interwebbed with like marketing and strategy and all this stuff. So I
Yeah.
actually ended up really he started my consulting, I guess, experience with this launch. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So that's kind of what I do on my day-to-day stuff
Sick, yeah.
project wise because those are project consultants, so like he only calls me when he needs a big project coming down the pipeline. So like we have a magazine launch that's coming, so or we just launched it, so that was a big thing, and then we have all of these other projects that are coming down the line, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Outside the creative space, it's still creative, but it's more like marketing creative, not so film and content and all that grand stuff.
No,
So
it's dope, though.
but on the creative content side of things, I am launching into the music sphere very, very, very soon.
I'm sorry?
I am. I kind of
Okay.
preempted it. I said it very boldly in our magazine issue in March. And so I've been in the music sphere actually for over a year now. I've been writing and I've been songwriting and singing
That's so cool.
and recording some demos
Yeah,
and kind of like making some music connections, finding a sound, finding my sound and just really getting into that. I've never really thought I would go into music. I've always been a music fanatic, as in like I listen to music very heavily. I keep up with the music industry and the charts
yeah,
and trends and all that. But making music for myself, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna make a movie. Like so I was more of a visual guy. So now it's shifting to more audio, as you can see, with all of this
yeah.
podcastness that Sean's got me into. I'm just kidding. But like, no, but all
Yeah,
this, it's gone so auditory. Like I've been immersed into this sound realm. Like I I can't describe it. So I am working on
some things.
some things. I don't
Yeah,
want to say too much because the things are shifting. Things are shifting, but things are good shifting. So I'm coming out with a mixtape. I am. It's
what's okay, okay,
so yes, I'm
okay.
coming
No,
out.
no, no.
I will be coming out with a mixtape. I will be coming out with a mixtape.
And when is this? When is this dropping?
Ooh.
You don't even have a date? Oh,
I
that's such
I do
that
have a
hurts.
I do have a
Tell
date.
me.
I just don't know if I should say it.
You can't say okay, fine. You don't have to say it
Well,
then.
okay,
I'm gonna make
so
one up.
what do you want to take a guess?
I'm gonna say I got one for you. I'm gonna say, like, August 15th.
Oh, you're so wrong. But you're
Eh
close. You're not too far. You're
September 15th.
you're a little far. You're a
Okay,
little
I'm done guessing.
far
I'm
from
done guessing.
you're far from the pinpoint. But It
Okay.
you tentatively, I would like it to come out in September. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I would like it to come out in September. But
Yeah.
this is actually the reason why it's a mixtape is the reason one, because I feel like I need to kind of just introduce myself as an artist,
And your
get,
sound.
in my sound. So
Yeah.
I think just coming out with a full like album or EP would just be kind of just like, who does this nigga think he is? Like this nigga think he can drop all these
Where he
short
come
films and
from.
now he coming out with an album, no singles,
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah. A
So I was
magazine.
like, a magazine just dropping no. So like I was like, no, and actually Christiana inspired me to kind of revamp it because actually I have a larger project uh scope that
Yeah.
we have been developing for about a couple months now. So I will be coming out with more music, but they will be in EP form in a larger project. I don't want to in a larger
That's okay.
project. It's a larger
It's
project.
okay. You're good, you're
But
good. Don't spoil it yet. You're good.
the reason why, and also the second reason why this is a mixtape is because creating those EPs or this music that I've been making for the last, I would say, 9 months, it's been a little fun but tiring in the sense of like
Hmm.
I got a little stuck in some areas where I was like, I don't, I want to put this down for a little bit. Like I was playing and I was like, oh, I want to put it down, and then I was playing over
Yeah.
here and I was like, I want to put this down. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had a lot of those like unfinished things that were laying around, like Jewel Ivy's music space, in vault. So
That's
I
cool.
kind of
Yeah.
took some of those and I met a great producer. Shout out to one of my managers, Hannah. And
Oh, wow.
she introduced me to one of my producers, Matthew. Goonie Music. Shout out
Yeah.
to Matthew. But he is one of the main producers on the mixtape. And so I've been creating like an artist relationship or artist producer relationship vibe with that. So kind of like harness and hone in my sound.
Sure.
And also kind of like gets him some experience too. So it's like or
Yeah.
like gets him like, anything that I write, he produces, he gets to own it. So it kind of works. So
That's
I kind
sick.
of
Yeah.
like it. I really do. So these are kind of like I call these songs the oddballs, even though they're not really
The
odd.
oddballs. Yeah.
They're the oddballs. Like they fit on where they are supposed to go. Like I can go put them on a project later down the line, but I feel like right now they need to come out. Like they
Okay.
don't need to
Okay.
be vaulted. I've vaulted a lot of music. I've been making music since March of 2023. So
Oh, wow. It's
I have
okay.
a
Yeah.
lot of music that I've just in songs and demos that I've been just faulting because I was just like, I
That's
don't want to release
crazy.
it. I don't want to release it. And I'm having that like artist moment where it's like, okay, bitch, you need to like release some music. So I've been picky. I've been very picky. And also my voice has been a little changey. Like, I've been
For
trying
sure.
to adjust the voice now. And train it to be able to do the things that I want to do with it now. So it's
Wow.
hard.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wait. Okay. Well, I have a question about that now because from the acting standpoint,
Mhm.
being able to, obviously there's different ways and you can manipulate the body to create a character, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's the physical, whether it's how you walk, whether it's how you talk, it's, the inflections, the rate at which you talk. There's so many different
Right.
things you can do to really build a character. And so I guess for you, how do you, and you don't have to spoil anything, but how did you or do you go about working on voice in order to create a variety of different music?
Good question. Because I talk about this and Christiana, she's like my music collaborator.
Yeah,
And we talk about this all the time. It's about diversity in music and creating different sounds, but they're still you.
100%.
And I think in majority of the time, I think it's just about exploring. a lot of the time. Like for me, I didn't want to limit myself to just one form of music. So
Yeah.
I'm considering myself an alternative R&B artist just because I don't necessarily fit fully in the bounds of R&B, and I don't
Yeah.
really fit in the fully bounds of hip hop, but I don't really fit in the full bounds of alternative. So it's a little mixy. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I kind of have a lot of sounds. So not to spoil, but I'll tease you something. So the structure of this mixtape will give you all three of my sounds that I've exercising.
A word?
And
Okay.
yes, and I'll give you another tidbit. The fully loaded project that I'm going to be embarking on after the mixtape drops, each EP hones in on each of the sounds that I'm sounding like or that I am creating for myself.
Beyonce is in the room with us? What? I'm sorry?
But yeah, it's giving that because I mean, I that's just the sound that I have, and what I've done with
Yeah.
is just like the melodies that I created is when it comes into the voice is has helped me a lot. So a lot of humming, it sounds like a lot of humming out the melody,
Yeah.
finding what I want to do with the song, demoing it out, you know,
Yeah.
in the best way that I can. And usually, like, I've started to realize that I need to like not half-ass my demos, and sometimes I half-ass my demos.
That's okay.
But
Yeah, yeah.
stop half-assing the demos because the demo is a train. It's a training and it's also reference. Yes, it's good to reference. You good to use that as a reference, but you also want to perform it as
Yeah.
such. So take the time, me taking the time to warm up rather than just going onto the booth or going onto the mic and just being like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of, I guess you could say discipline for you to kind of do it and find it for you, I guess you could say. Some people can just go into it and knock it out, but I'm not
Yeah.
vocally trained like that. So it takes me a bit to kind of like figure out if I even like a song to even pursue to write it fully, like all the way.
Yeah.
So, but like
That's
sound is
cool.
it's good to just exercise to really find your sound, really. I think it's just like just finding and really exploring different types of music for me. I didn't want to limit. I just wanted to try different things like, Afro beats, different things
Uh,
that I felt like
oh, yeah.
house music,
Yeah.
finding different sounds that I was like, let me see if I can ride this. Let me see if I can do it. And some
Yeah.
of those experimental songs have been my best songs. I have a song
Word.
called
Yeah.
I have a song called Fuck a Dress Code. And yeah, it's called Fuck a Dress Code.
Yeah.
And it's like a house song. Like it's a house beat song. And it's
Word.
it's one of my favorite songs because it took me 30 minutes to write, or less than almost less than an hour to write.
That's a banger. Yeah.
And it was about me being mad from a studio session and going home, changing clothes, and going out with my girls. And I said, fuck a dress code. And I just was, and that's literally how the song came around. Like, I think everybody was like,
I love
what are
that.
y'all wearing? What are you wearing? I was like, I'm wearing, fuck a dress code. I'm wearing what I want to wear.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of like where, and those are the fun songs, like just
Yeah.
experimenting with different things. And it doesn't have to be so structured. It doesn't have to be so like Taylor
That part.
Swifty, it doesn't have to be so like Espresso. Espresso's a great song. Like, I love that. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorite songs right now. But it doesn't have to be written like that. It doesn't have to be so boom, 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 boom. But if you write like that and it
Yeah.
comes to you like that, then explore it. Get more black girls and more black boys in pop. That's what I'm saying. Get them in pop because it lets you explore different sounds, that are not solely segmented to our culture, like R&B and hip hop and other things. We can incorporate that into pop and blow it up. That's what's popular. Hip hop music and R&B music is what we consider now pop music, just
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the influence and the crossover of these artists. So it's it's mixedy, finding your voice. Finding your
Yeah.
voice.
No, I love that. Thank you for all these. You give really detailed answers. Not everyone does, you know. So I guess I'll say, in closing, you
Hmm.
know, as always, what you like to do on the show is ask people what gym do you have for your audience, for upcoming artists, for the ones who are fresh out of college and potentially lost. What do you have for any of the viewers? What you
Hmm.
got?
Uh, Jewel with the gems. Um, I wow. After you just told me that I was just dropping so many gems,
You were. That's why I'm like
and
I'm like,
now I
was
don't
there
have
anything left?
one, and now I don't have one. Um,
Yeah.
what can I say? Um, I don't know. I just have to say that my mom is kind of like my biggest influencer and a big supporter, the biggest supporter. She's like my number
That's
one
beautiful.
fan and everything. So one thing that she told me, and I've stuck to this, and if you are because we are in this industry that is shifting literally overnight. It's literally shifting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the entertainment industry is up right now. Like it's not up in a good way, but it's up. Like
But it's up. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
up and it's a little stuck. Um, and one thing that and I'm going to be completely honest. I have my days where I'm like, what if I didn't do film? Like just having those,
Stop. So
certain
do
those.
I. So do
But
I.
I knock my mom knocks me out of those things.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the persons, and I've started to knock my friends out of those ways of
Hey,
thinking.
come knock me out.
You know,
All right.
right? Like you have to
Right.
because what I didn't go to SCAD for a miss. I for for no reason. I did make 7 or 8 movies, projects or film
For no
projects for
reason.
just no reason. I didn't
Yeah.
move to Los
Yeah, yeah.
Angeles or God didn't make me move to or let me move to Los Angeles just for no reason. All of these things are not done in vain. Like they're done with purpose. They're done with intention. So
Yeah.
always remember, and she always told me something like never pick up a job or never do a job that you don't like. And literally, like I stuck with that forever. And I'm sticking with
Yeah.
that forever. And
That's
like a
beautiful.
lot of people have gotten, have told me different and saying, well, you need to get a job just to put some money in your pocket. Yes, absolutely right. Don't go broke, but don't give up on your dream, as in the sense of
About to
don't
get a
think
tear out
that
here.
don't think
Yeah.
that your time isn't gonna come or your moment isn't gonna come because it's gonna come
No.
and
Yeah.
it will come and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're gonna have your highs and lows, like this transition to Los Angeles was not all of a
Not
high
easy.
to me. It wasn't
Yeah.
easy, but
No.
you make the best out of it, and you learn from that, and you incorporate that. So, but I've always just never pick up a job that you can't love and you're not passionate about, and you don't have,
Yeah.
and you can't do night and day. So that's one thing that she always tells me and keeps me motivated as a creative because it's divine, it's intention. I'm doing something for a purpose and I'm here to do it this way. So it's a matter of time when it comes, and you just have in it takes a little patience, so be patient. It
Yeah.
will come. I think of it as a
Yeah.
lottery ticket. Okay.
Yeah. No, I
Every
love
person
that.
that moves into LA gets a little ticket punch, and they just waiting. They're waiting for that man.
Waiting for it. Yeah.
They're waiting for that man to call their ticket number.
Yeah.
So just wait for your ticket number, baby. Just wait for your ticket number. It's
What
coming.
a bar. Wait for your ticket number. I love that. Okay. Well, Jewel, first of all, thank you. And thank you to everyone for watching. Again, my name is Andre Haskett. This is Jewel IV. And as usual, check the IV. I don't know how you do it. I can't match the energy, but you
You're
do an
doing
amazing
great.
job.
You're doing great. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
for for letting me come on to my show and you coming on as a host. Like I loved it.
You though you deserve your flowers. So like, because we wouldn't be where we are with social and culture without you and all the skills you've accumulated over your entire lifetime is why we are at where we are at. It's why this show is so great. So like I have to give flowers where flowers are due.
Oh,
Like I'm good at what I do, but you're great at what you do as well.
no, Andre is
So
great what he does. Andre literally makes the show
I try.
happen. I think people think it's just me. I'm like, no. When I get a call from Andre or when I get a text from Andre, I'm like, no, this is important. Like, because
Oh,
we have a weekly show, so it means
yeah.
something, and you invest a lot of time and effort into this show. So thank you, Sean and Alex, of
Yeah.
course, for the show, and coming and letting me come on and rant and things, and ramble,
Yeah.
for an hour on every Thursday. But yes,
Heck yeah.
but thank you, Andre. I really do appreciate everything you do for the show, and
Anytime.
everything you do for the Aspect Co. So I'm super excited to see, or to launch, not even to see. I see it because we're making it, but to
Yeah.
launch what's coming down the pipeline. I'm excited.